Yeah. Do you mind, Cat? Poor Magnus. He's being destroyed. Oh. What's up, folks? Welcome back to TacticalTortoise. My name is Trevi, and you might have noticed in some of my recent live stream coverage that I've been using a different set of terrain templates for some of the US Open Leviathan layouts that we're using in at least the past format. And a lot of folks asked where I got them from, and the answer is simple. I stole them. I was given a prototype set from Objective Control. If you were subscribed to the channel just about a year ago, you probably remember them and their unique system of polymer templates to use instead of the traditional neoprene that covers up the table and other surfaces underneath them. They were kind enough to give me a prototype set, and I didn't give them back. They didn't ask me to use them or anything. I just did because they're so useful as a live streamer. If I have to set up lights or there is harsh lighting above the table that I'm live streaming, the bounce back from acrylic templates or other template materials can be very harsh on cameras. Having those templates available to me was absolutely invaluable. So while they didn't ask me to use them, they did ask me to make this video. If you're watching this video day of release, Objective Control's second Kickstarter is going to be live literally right now. As you're watching it, there's a link down in the video description. You can go check it out. Inky would appreciate it. Available on that Kickstarter are new sets of objective markers and terrain for a variety of different game systems. Most notably for 40K and Age of Sigmar, but they also have game aids available for Kill Team, Shatterpoint, and Conquest. Now, I had a chance to take a look at these new objective markers, and I will say that they are gorgeous. The new material has allowed the Objective Control team to use new printing methods, so while they are still the same clear material that they had previously with that new non-reflective matte sheen, they are also able to print more creative designs on top, allowing them to do cool things like have themed terrain templates and objective markers. While they only have a few available right now, as the Kickstarter unlocks stretch goals, they'll be able to unlock new designs that cover a wide variety of factions within both 40K and Age of Sigmar. Most excitingly to me is that they also will unlock faction symbols for the center of those objective markers. Some of my favorites are this overgrown set that looks like it has sort of jungle trees growing over it. Probably mostly for Age of Sigmar as kind of a Sylvaneth or Seraphon deal, but I think they just look neat. They have a little bit of an arcane summoning circle in the middle right now, but being able to replace that symbol with a faction symbol from 40K, for example, would be rad. I think this is also my favorite design on the new terrain template kits. These are standard size terrain templates in the Games Workshop US Open terrain layout, so you're able to set them up in the recommended terrain layouts that Games Workshop recommends, but this design elevates the look of the template and allows you to theme them to your table way more than a standard acrylic design would be. While these are typically meant to represent ruins, you can theme them to look like an overgrown building just fine, and the edge design really meshes with that in a gorgeous way. Shout out to Game Meant Out of You for these buildings, by the way. They gave them to us like a millennia ago, and I haven't used them in a really long time. As I mentioned before, they're anti-glare. They're also scratch and fingerprint resistant, so the problem that acrylic templates and other smooth template designs have, where they get kind of cruddy after a couple of games, especially if you've been diving into the buffalo chicken too hard. They actually don't have that issue, and the rough surface remains relatively clean and doesn't pick up that dirt nearly as quickly. Now, the other thing that this Kickstarter is introducing that I know the team is super excited about are these precision cut base magnets. So these are a sheet magnet that is ridiculously thin. You can see it's basically just a sheet of paper, but still has a strong holding power. Now, they have these specifically sized for a range of base STLs that they are also including. You will get access to the base STLs as you get the magnet sets, and they're also offering a limited number of pre-3D printed base sets with the purchase of the magnets. Now, I will caveat this system. These magnets are rad because they are so skinny, and what they don't do like normal magnets is A, require a lot of modeling internally within the base in order to set them up to magnetize your models. For my magnetized models, which is mostly my Tyranids, I used a neodymium magnet on the bottom, and that requires me to fill in the bottom of the base for the magnet to attach. These don't require that, but they do require that your base be flat on the bottom. Unfortunately for me, most of my bases use the generic Games Workshop base, which is concave inside, and these magnets magnets are not designed for use with bases like that. Now, that being the case, a converter system is available in the Kickstarter to convert standard GW base styles to using this magnet system. It's basically an insert that goes into the concave at the bottom of a regular Games Workshop base so that the magnet can attach to it. STL files for those will be available with purchase of the magnets as well. If you have a nicely cast resin base that has a perfectly flush bottom, or you are using a 3D printed base that has a flat bottom, or obviously the bases that they recommend that you use with them, these will work just fine. But if you have a base with any irregularities on the bottom that doesn't allow full contact between the magnet and the surface that you're magnetizing to, they can get a little weak. So that's an important thing to note before you check these out. But if you do use their bases, or you have your own bases that do have a flat surface on the bottom, these things are amazing. The biggest benefit is that they are, again, ridiculously thin, and unlike many magnet systems, they aren't adding additional accoutrement to the bottom of your base that will then cause your models to wobble and top over. Instead, they're perfectly flush with the table, which is exactly what you want, and you basically won't even notice that they're there. They're offering these both in experience bundles that have assortments of tokens for use on the tabletop, as well as dice and other measurement tools, and hobby bundles that are for the more hobby-oriented crowd that include their base magnets and their basing system. I will disclose my biases here. I absolutely love Objective Control's measuring sets. They have a precision measuring kit that I'll just show you how great it is. Fuck yeah. I'm going to showcase this little guy separately because it's probably one of my favorite widgets that Objective Control makes. And it's Inky's favorite too, given by all the noises she's making. Oh, please don't destroy Magnus. No, Inky. Yeah, I'll fight back against you, foul warp beast. It's a normal measuring widget that you've seen all over the place. It has a 2-inch side for measuring coherency, a 1-inch side for measuring engagement range and the length of Inky's tail, as well as a 6-inch side for most movement and a side up to 9 inches for reinforcements. Do you mind, Cat? The nice thing about it is that precision measurement is super easy because it's so thin thanks to the polymer material that you can move your model the desired distance and simply, before completing its movement, slide the measurement stick out from underneath it, which is basically impossible with any type of rigid measurement. We first started using these for playing Breachstorm, actually, and it made measuring so much easier. You just go, oh hey, I want to move 6 inches, so I'm just going to place my model here and remove the template. And I've moved exactly 6 inches with no argument whatsoever. It's so easy, and I just love them. I just love them! Not to mention, on top of that, they also have new designs available for their token sets. They also offer tokens in the same anti-glare material for a variety of effects, both in Age of Sigmar and in Warhammer 40k. Objective Control has been a huge friend of the channel for a really long time, and I absolutely love the stuff that they are putting forward in their new Kickstarter, so please go check them out. There is a link in the video description for you to go check out their Kickstarter. Consider a pledge early on and see if we can get to those stretch goals, and on top of that, you can go check out their other products over at Objective Control. That's objectivectrl.com. Again, I'll put a link to that in the video description as well. Huge thanks to Objective Control for supporting the channel, and thanks to you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Thanks as well to everybody who supports the channel elsewhere, either over on Patreon at patreon.com/TacticalTortoise, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subscribers. All you people are amazing, and I absolutely love you. Remember to keep it classy, folks, and have happy wargaming.